guys, my name is Jesse Garnett and this is Crystal Garnett. We've been married for 12 years, going on 13 in July.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been through all kinds of seasons in our marriage. We've got 2 kids.
Yep, 2 kids and
3 dogs. We are a military family, so we've moved all over the place. We lived in Europe for 4 years, so we've dealt with deployments and TDYs.
Lack of friends, lack of church, all that.
Lack of family.
Yeah.
We've dealt with some financial difficulties, some really extreme financial difficulties in our marriage, some extreme health issues in our marriage, and we've also walked through some really dark seasons in our marriage that were really difficult.
Right, yeah.
And Scripture tells us that we're gonna face trials, and
Right.
that's part of it.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 talks about just that, how it's pretty much a promise in Scripture that when you get married, you're going to have troubles. And a big reason for that is because your interests are no longer your own. Your interest is not just about you and God, it's about each other.
Right.
And, that automatically there's, twice the mouths to feed instantaneously. Now we've got, 2 kids and 3 dogs, and so I can't do the math, public math. Anyway, so it's hard, not only that, but it's like, she squeezes the toothpaste from the middle of the tube. It's like, what's going on with this? Oh, who is this person? Who does this? It's like all the difficulties that you have to deal with as a married couple, and those are just some of the small things. There's a lot of other things. Different, all the baggage that you have as an individual now becomes our baggage.
Right. I know for me, when I got married, I thought that it was going to be this fairy tale happy ending, happily ever after. And I think a lot of women struggle with that, maybe even guys too, just expecting marriage to be a solution to things. And instead it created some new problems.
Right.
It opened my eyes to problems that had been there anyways. God has just really used my marriage to just kind of show me some things, teach me a lot of things, not some things, a lot of things, and really opened my eyes to where I need Him more. And I think that's kind of been the point, is every trial that we've walked through, every struggle that we've had has just brought us closer to God and closer to each other. And
Right.
There were times it didn't bring us closer to each other for a while. We struggled with that.
Yeah, we had a couple of years where it was really rough, and I'm not gonna lie, that word divorce, crossed our mind. But earlier on in marriage, we decided that we're gonna take that word divorce and just remove it from our vocabulary. It no longer was an option. It never was to begin with. We just made that commitment from the get-go. And I think one thing, I think about Ephesians chapter 5 and how it talks about how a man and a woman are supposed to become one flesh. We're supposed to leave our father and mother and make a life for ourselves. And the reason why I think God hates divorce so much, it goes on to say in that chapter that it's no longer just her and I. It's not even just marriage. This is a picture of Christ and the church.
Yeah.
That my headship over the family is like Jesus' headship over His church, and it's a beautiful picture of what that's supposed to look like. So when He sees a married couple separating and fighting and bickering, and is like, guys, this is supposed to be a picture of you and me, and how much I love you, and how much Chris and I are supposed to love one another and serve one another. And the crazy thing is, even Paul says this is a great mystery, that that this image is what that God chose of all things and all creation to look at and make. This is His picture of Him and His bride, the church.
Yeah. And for us, the thing that got us through the hardest times was just that vow that we made to God. It wasn't even the vow we made to each other. I think if that was all we were holding on to, we wouldn't have made it. But it came down to, we promised God that we were going to make this work until death do us part.
Right.
And we knew that God was for us. We knew that He was in this. And even when we weren't 100% in it, He was. And, you know, like the scripture says, like when God is for us, who can be against us? And so at times it was us that was against us, but God pulled us through, and he was the one that really perfected our marriage. I think it's better now than it's ever been. And I'm excited, you know, 15 years from now to be able to say, wow, look at how much it's changed and how much it's grown. I don't think I had any idea at the beginning that it was going to be like this.
Or this difficult at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
or that, yeah.
Or
exactly.
so good. Like, I think that's one thing we were just talking the other day about how much our love has grown.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine having loved someone so much. But, you know, part of that is just because we chose to work through the difficult things, the difficult times. And, you know, I tell you guys, God really is for you in your marriage.
Yeah. So just want to challenge you guys, wherever you're at in your marriage, whether it's brand new, whether it's been around for a long time, whether you're struggling or whether it's really good, I think there's always opportunities for us to glorify God more in our marriage. And I know that's something that we're trying to learn how to do, is look for ways that we can just give God glory more and make this marriage more about him. And so I just want to challenge you guys in that today. Wherever you're at, just ask yourself that question, and I promise you, he will show up in amazing ways.
That's right. Amen. Love you, sister.
Love you too, baby.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.